The Harp Twins. Salty Alaskan says, all of a sudden KJP is looking sexy as fuck. What do you mean, all of a sudden? Bro, I've been telling y'all that since I first saw her, the first time she came out.
Dark and light, water and air, emerald isle, nothing so fair. Folklore legends, fate taking on, changelings and love stories, all Celtic charms. Castles and ruins, all thorns and ash trees, enchanted land, surrounded by seas, rites of passage, dark tales and lore. One never knows just what is in store. Dark and light, water and
I love them.
emerald isle, nothing so fair. Folklore legends, fate taking arms, changelings and love stories, all Celtic charms. Spirit fight, haunting songs, friendship, Santa Claus, water flame, secret mischief, earth fire, where peace.
They're the Harp Twins. They play the harp. That's what they say. I don't know.
Fate and spite, invisible worlds, all secret they say.
Follow them.
Rites of
Subscribe to the Harp
passage,
Twins. They command it.
dark tales and
You will
lore.
bow before their glory.
One never knows just what is in store. Dark and light, water and air,
Beautiful.
emerald isle, nothing so
I like that one. That's my favorite one.
Folklore legends, fate taking arms,
Her name is Kennerly.
changelings
She's
and
gorgeous.
love stories, all Celtic charms. Folklore legends, fate taking arms, changelings and love stories, all Celtic charms.
They're amazing. I love them. What up? We're being enchanted by Celtic charms. You guys will subscribe to them. Subscribe to them. All right. What's going on, you guys? It's me, SpaysE McG. I'm your favorite cartoon nerd with the news, and I am back at it again, doing my thing, doing what we do out here every day. I'd like to enchant them. I don't know. They are very, very, very good girls. They are like super, super, super religious Christians. They are super old-fashioned. They live in a house with their grandma, their mom, and they live in they sleep in their childhood bedroom still. Like they hate smokers, they hate drinkers, they hate everything that you are. So you're nowhere near good enough for them. uh, unfortunately, they are just too good. They are all that is good and pure in this world. And here's to them. And I love that song. They are so awesome. But you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome, and we're having a great time. We're about to see let's see. We're about to see the last press secretary briefing by Karine Jean-Pierre. We're going to say goodbye to her. I'm going to miss her. She was pretty cute. Let's be fair to her, guys. She did one horrible job as press secretary. I'm not going to lie. But she had a tough job. It was hard. You couldn't have done it. You couldn't have come out there every day and lied. I would have quit. She kept in there. That's got to be worth something, right? Right? That's worth something, right? I don't know. Amy Turk. I know who she is. I know Amy Turk. Yes. Amy Turk is also good too. I don't know anything. I don't know much about harps, Usi. I'm not a big fan of harp music other than what they produce, right? And a couple other harpists also. I'm into classical music, so that's how I found them. Is they were doing like a box canon or Pachelbel's canon or whatever. Oh, girl gone dog. Here's hey, what's up? You should. You should. Yes. Yes. You should put on fairy skirts and walk around playing the harp, girl gone dog. And blind dude will come home and bring you gold bars every day if you did that. He would. If you walked around his house playing a harp for him in a fairy skirt, he would bring you home gold bars every day. Yeah, so guys, and things are going amazingly for Donald Trump. Uh, he's pretty much solved Israel. They are right now negotiating. I believe we're going to get hostages released, and the Jews are going to stop bombing the Muslims. They're going to stop bombing them at least, right? Some people may not like that outcome. They're going to occupy Gaza. That's how it's going to go down. What did blind dude buy you, girl gone dog? Yeah, so that's how it's going to go down. But let's read about this a little bit. So Israel and Hamas. Oh no! To continue reading, I got to buy. Okay, well anyway, they're going to sign a peace deal, right? And it's all because of Trump's salty envoy that they sent over there. And Stephen Witkoff is his name. And he's said to have told aides to Benjamin Netanyahu's that he was headed to Israel on Saturday. When informed that he would be in the middle of the Sabbath, but the prime minister could meet in the evening, his reply was apparently salty. Well, that's a little bit rude, right? Right? We don't. It's like us showing up on Sunday morning and expecting you to do business while you're in church. But whatever. Anyway, the Sabbath did not interest Mr. Witkoff. Well, that's fine, right? Right? But it is customary when you're when you go somewhere to follow the customs of the people that are there, right? Like if I went to your church, If I was at your house and everyone bowed their heads and started praying to their God, right, I would bow my head too. I might not pray, but I would bow my head, right? Right? Now, so Hamas has accepted a draft of the ceasefire agreement, right? And the release of a dozen Israeli hostages, according to officials involved in the talks. So, a dozen hostages. That's pretty much all that's alive. So, out of, I believe it was 200 plus hostages, I'm going to say, my memory tells me it was 250. That's the number we're going with, okay? So, out of 250 hostages, we have 12 left. That's a 5% recovery rate. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I want to see what blind dude bought you. A huge canvas painting of Sasquatch laying down all sexy in a raccoon. Oh, with a raccoon. Not sure what he's doing with the raccoon, though, huh? That is an awesome painting. Oh, it's not even framed, huh? Oh, wow. So it's like an original then, right? Because if it were a print, it would be framed. Generally, when you get one that's in canvas, on canvas that's not framed, it's an original. Oh, it's a poster. Okay. Nah, from Temu. Okay. Okay. It's on Amazon. Okay. All right. Oh, see where I come from. Well, I'm an artist, and all my friends are artists, and so yeah, we all have unframed paintings, but they're all originals because they're from each other. That's how I see it. That was my assumption. Okay, let's see here. Discussion stretched into months. Yeah, they've been talking about a ceasefire for months, but Donald Trump recently has said that there's going to be hell to pay if the hostages aren't back by the day he steps into office. And what do you know? It looks like what's left of the hostages will be back by the day Donald Trump steps into office. Now, I don't have the news story pulled up here. Let's pull it up. Here we go. Denmark has sent a private message to Trump on Greenland. Denmark sent a private message in recent days to President-elect Trump's team expressing willingness to discuss boosting security in Greenland and or increasing the U.S. military presence on the island. Two sources with knowledge of the issue tell Axios. You guys see how it works? Trump threatens to take action on Greenland and they capitulate. Right? Everyone's talking like, oh, Donald Trump's tariffs are going to destroy the country. No, they're not. Because they're never going to happen. Because Donald Trump's going to make a threat. Right? And the weaklings in Europe will cave. The weaklings in Asia will cave. The weaklings in Denmark, the Queen of Denmark, will cave. Right? Right? I agree, Salty Alaskan. Salty Alaskan says, it's pretty funny how Trump is the most anti-war president in history, yet everyone's afraid to fuck with him. Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Isn't it? That, when you, right? The fact that Donald Trump is so reserved is intimidating, right? That is intimidating. A man, for instance, how he handled Qasem Soleimani, right? When he did a surgical strike, he let the Iranians throw their little hissy fit, right? And then it was over. How he handled Assad, right? Came in, one big show of force, let them fucking while out for a little bit, and then it was over. The man knows how, what I'm saying is the man knows how to use force and not use force to achieve an objective. And he knows the power of uncertainty, right? The power of uncertainty. What is that? Well, in economics, there's a term called FUD, right? FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right? They are a powerful motivator. When you are unsure about the viability of your outcomes, right? Like you don't know that what you have planned is now going to work out. You're much willing to negotiate to save that outcome, right? Than you were before. So you're much willing to capitulate, right? In terms of marketing, in terms of stock markets and economics, you're willing to capitulate at a lower profit, right? To get out with something, right? I'm freezing in Ohio. I'm in my van. Do you know how cold it is? Oh my God, you guys have no idea how cold it is. No. Yeah, it's freezing in Ohio. It was 1 degree last night. Yeah, no, Trump's threats are... Trump knows how to leverage his advantage. I mean, that's what it's all about. And you see it's working already, right? Right? What do we get? Right? Greenland. What happened? What happened? Oh, I thought we weren't getting Greenland. Guess what, guys? We don't even have to buy it now. They're just going to give us what we want. We don't even have to buy it. They're just going to give it to us. Yeah, guys. Fucking, they're just going to give it to us, right? Trump has repeatedly declared that controlling Greenland, the world's largest island, is necessary for U.S. national security. And why is that? Is Russia and China, right? Because both Russia, China, and the United States, Canada, you guys up there in Finland, right? We all have access to the Arctic Circle. And why is that important? Well, because in many instances, the Arctic Circle is the shortest distance between very far away places. Like what look like far away places on a map are actually very short distances on a globe when you can cross the Arctic Circle, right? And so anyone that can control that area is controlling, albeit seasonal, shipping lanes, right? Because there's a part of the year where it's all ice up there. You can't get through. Climate change. Divest from Israel, invest in Greenland. Well, I'm hoping that we get to like go move there. I want to live in Greenland. Can we live in Greenland? I want to live in Greenland. That would be awesome. Yeah, I know, right? Uzi says like worldwide strategic decisions are just rushed out in weeks because Trump said a thing. Yeah. Yeah. We are living in amazing times, guys. But we got to remain vigilant. Look, it's easy. And people are you're not going to like what I'm about to say, okay? All right? You're not going to like what I'm about to say, but let me say it. It's easy to get swept away, right, with tribalism here and be like, our guy won, let him rule with an iron fist, right? Everything he does is good, right? So far, everything seems to be going good and it looks good, right? But I am not going to let them. I'm going to challenge Pam Bondi, right, when she comes out, just as hard as I challenge Karine, right? When she bullshits me, I'm going to tell her she's bullshitting me, right? Right, guys? We have to remain vigilant, right? Just because we like them, just because they're on our side, right? Just because we agree with their greater good, right? Doesn't mean that we have to be yes, master, right? Right? Exactly, guys. Exactly. So you're going to hear me call them out when they come out. And I know some people aren't going to like that. And they're not going to agree with me at the time, right? But I have an uncanny track record for calling the shots, guys. And speaking of that, now, here we are. This is a video I put out a few months ago. Let's see, what's it say? November 11th, 2024. So, like 2 months ago. Right after the election, right? And I say some things, right? I say, things are going to happen, right? Well, let's hear what I say. It's going to end with Donald Trump being blown up in his car with a bomb. Let's rewind that. Here we go. Let's rewind it a little bit more. 24, because they stole the election in 2020, right? So they've been planning a coup, and now they are executing it. And it's going to end with Donald Trump being blown up in his car with a bomb. I'm just going to say it. That's how it's going to go out. That's what my gut is telling me. I don't have any evidence of this. It's just a hunch, right? Because they missed, right? A bomb doesn't miss. So that's my assumption. Okay. So, if you guys remember, on New Year's Day, somebody put a car bomb in front of Donald Trump's tower. I was pretty close. All I gotta say is I was pretty close, right? So that's just what I want to say, right? I just wanted to remind you guys, yeah. I go with my gut. There's a reason I go with my gut now. Why I always follow my gut. Right? There's a reason why I come out and I'm confident in saying things like that, right? Or like coming out in April and telling you guys that they're going to shoot Donald Trump and he's going to live, right? There's a reason why, or I can tell you the day before that Tesla's going to drop 50%, right? There's a reason why, right? I come out and I say these things, right? So, and I'm confident and I go with my gut, right? So, what's going on here? Where are these fools at? They should already be started or getting close to start. There should be it should have changed screens already. Oh, wow. We're going to be in for a long haul, guys. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I would say that's pretty close. They did. They did. There's all kinds of strange drone activity. Last day and she's still on black people time. Who said that, Anonymous? Oh my God, that's been a running joke. Oh, we're not going to have that joke anymore, guys. We're not going to be able to blame black time anymore because Pam Bondi's not black. Oh, that was a good joke too. I'm going to miss that joke. Oh. I'm gonna miss the black time joke. Hey, what's up, Mythos? What's up, Mythos? Now, go get the broken arrows from Greenland. Oh, what? We got some nukes up there, Uzi? Did we lose some nukes up in Greenland, Uzi? Makes sense. Makes sense. There's lots of lost nukes everywhere. Yeah, so all right, so you guys California wildfires, right? Everyone's saying, "Oh, space lasers did the fires." Look. Just because space lasers exist, right, doesn't mean that they caused the fires. It was probably eco-terrorists, right, who want us all to give up cows and fucking propane heaters and shit, right? Exactly. While space-based laser weapons most likely and probably do exist, I mean, what's the point of having a laser if you don't put it in space, right? Hey, just think of it from that perspective. A laser on the ground is kind of useful, but a laser in space, right? Now you're talking. Yeah, exactly, Mythos. Exactly. Yeah, but no, it's much more likely for, like homeless people, right? Right? Like a homeless guy like me living in his van, right? I use an electric heater because I'm plugged up to my friend's house, but another guy wouldn't have that option. He would have a propane heater, and if he tipped that fucking thing over, he'd be dead, right? Yeah, even the looters themselves is a more reasonable explanation than space lasers. I agree. Uzi says a magnifying glass is a directed energy weapon. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. You could, in theory, maybe, I mean, theoretically, build a reverse fucking telescope and make a fucking laser on the ground out of the sun. Theoretically, right? That's basically what a laser is anyway, is a reverse telescope. Anyway. Well, not the laser, but the laser focusing equipment is basically a reverse telescope anyway. So if you could line that up with the sun, you have a free laser. You're absolutely correct. Your cell phone is an energy weapon if you use it as a pillow? Possibly. Possibly. Oh, wow. I thought Karine would be out here on time today. Oh, that's some advanced engineering, Uzi. That's some advanced engineering right there, buddy. Advanced but simple, right? That's what I like about you. I can tell, Uzi. Hey, what's up, Mystique? Uzi, I can tell that you have a technical background just by how simple your solution is, right? That's a very simple but sophisticated solution, right? Right? It's sophisticated but simple in the end. Straightforward. Speaking of straightforward, guys. All right. So, what the fuck have I been doing? Right? Why have I been gone? Why have I not been streaming every day? Well, honestly, I'll tell you. I've been programming. Now that we're talking about engineering, I've been programming and I have been making great advancements. Great advancements. So, over the last, we're going to say 2 months, really it's been like 3 months, I have perfected my image compressing algorithm to where the quality loss is nominal. The compression rate is greater than 90%, between 90 and 95%. And yeah, you can read the fine details, everything. It's a high quality image. For like when I ran it through, I used Grok AI to test it, right? Some of you may have seen me even posting images on Twitter for Grok, right? Grok graded my image and told me that it couldn't detect any distortions caused by compression. So that is a promising result. Now, that's just the first great stride that I've made. That's probably the most tangible one. That's the easiest one to understand, is that I was able to shrink images. Another thing I was able to do was shrink the entire blockchain in a very special and unique way. Hey, what's up, Antonio? Yes, it absolutely does. Yes, it help. AI especially helps with brainstorming. That's what and research, right? That's where the AI is really good. The AI sucks at being able to understand the new things that you come up with, though, right? So like I have to write most of the code out and then give it to the AI so that it understands what I'm doing, and then it can finish the code for me from that point, right? Yeah, I am doing very well, Antonio. Yeah, and so, okay, so we have now, so we've solved our image problem, right? Because now we can turn a 1 megabyte file into like 80 kilobytes, right? We've solved the block size problem because we use something called BLS signature aggregation. And what that does is it allows us to bulk verify the entire transaction pool in the block. So we can sign the transactions, right? We can add all the transactions together, add all the signatures together, right? Come up with a group batch signature for all the transactions, and then throw all the individual signatures away, right? This saves us an incredible amount of space because the signature is bigger than the transaction. So, yeah. So now our transactions are down to like 80 bytes a transaction, which is tremendous because Bitcoin, for instance, is 250 bytes, and ours is 80. So that's 1/3 the size of Bitcoin, right? Without sacrificing any security. So we can get 3 times the transactions. We can get 3 times the transactions per block, right? Now, but this is where we really did it, okay? This is what this is the game changer right here. Well, all this is, I have 2 more game changers, okay? And so we've compressed the images so now that we can do social media and we can have images. We don't have to do black and white. We can have mostly full color images. They get a little washed out, but that's fine. Because it's not lossless. It's lossy as fuck. So the images get a little bit less colorful. We have the world's smallest transaction size, right? But none of that matters if we can't handle the amount of transactions. So I've completely reimagined the blockchain. Oh, no. Oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. You got a link? Let's get a link. Does anybody got a link? Joe's going to take credit for the ceasefire? Fuck that guy. Fuck Joe Biden. No. Fuck you.
In September 23, I rallied key countries behind a vision of an economic corridor from India across the Middle East to Europe.
No way. You don't get to take credit for this, you fucking piece of shit. You piece of shit. No.
Good afternoon. It's a very good afternoon. Because at long...
Fuck you. No, this is Trump. Trump did this. You didn't do this. You fucking caused this. You didn't do it.
At long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas.
No, that's Trump.
Conflict
Fuck
began
you.
with Hezbollah's brutal massacre on
you.
October the 7th. More than 15 months of terror for the hostages, their families, the Israeli people. More than 15 months of suffering
Fuck you.
by the innocent people of Gaza. Fighting in Gaza will stop, and soon the hostages will return home to their families.
You didn't do that.
The elements of this deal were what I laid out in detail this past May, which was embraced by countries around the world and endorsed overwhelmingly by the UN Security Council. The deal is structured in 3 phases. Phase 1 will last 6 weeks. It includes a full and complete ceasefire, withdrawal of Israeli forces from all the populated areas of Gaza, and the release of a number of hostages held by Hamas, including women and elderly and the wounded.
A number? Why not all of them? Or they just don't want to admit that that's all that's left. Which one is it? Either you left people behind or they're dead and you don't want to admit it. Fuck you. You didn't do this. You didn't do it. It was Trump. Trump did this. You had fucking 2 years. You didn't get shit done,
I'm proud
dude.
to say Americans will be part of that hostage release in phase 1 as well. And the Vice President and I cannot wait to welcome them home. In exchange, Israel released hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. And during
Sometime
phase
the
1,
fake
the
dead
Palestinians
get
can
left
also
behind.
return to their neighborhoods in all the areas of Gaza. And the surge of humanitarian assistance into Gaza will begin. And
And the
innocent
rubble of
people
our bombs, how could they
can
find
have a
them?
greater access to these vital supplies. You know, during the next 6 weeks, Israel will negotiate the necessary arrangements to get phase 2, which is a permanent end of the war. Let me say it again, a permanent end of the war.
Ha ha, my
There are a number
ass.
of details to negotiate to move from phase 1 to phase 2, but the plan says if negotiations take longer than 6 weeks, the ceasefire will continue as long as the negotiations continue. I've spoken to the Emir of Kuwait and the President of Egypt, and we have pledged to make sure the negotiations will keep moving forward for as long as it takes.
It's Allah's
Then,
will.
When phase 2 begins,
Fuck Allah.
there will be an exchange for release of the remaining
Allah, no
living hostages,
bullshit,
including
'cause
male
that's what it
soldiers,
is.
and all remaining Israeli forces will be withdrawn from Gaza, and the temporary ceasefire will become permanent. And finally, phase 3, any final remains of hostages who have been killed will be returned to their families, and a major reconstruction plan for Gaza will begin. This is the ceasefire agreement I introduced last spring. Today,
The mayor
Hamas
of
and
Kuwait
Israel have
classic
agreed to
Biden.
that ceasefire agreement and the whole ending the war. You know, those of you who have followed the negotiations can attest, the road to this deal has not been easy. I've worked in foreign policy for decades. This is one of the toughest negotiations I've ever experienced. And we reached this point because of the pressure that Israel built on Hamas, backed by the United States.
No, we reached
Hamas's
this point because
longtime
of
leader,
Donald
Sinwar,
Trump.
was killed.
Because the pressure put
Hamas's
on them
strongest
by
supporter,
Donald
Iran,
Trump. You didn't do
launched
shit,
attacks on
motherfucker.
Israel.
You
Those
gave,
attacks failed
you
after
gave
my
$15
administration
billion
organized a
to
coalition
the terrorists, you fucking piece of shit.
of nations to stop them. And after I ordered the U.S. ships and planes to come to Israel's defense, we also shaped Israel's strong and calibrated response, destroying Iran's air defenses, but avoiding an escalatory cycle of an all-out war.
Hey guys, they avoided an
United States
escalatory
also-
cycle where the war raged into fucking Lebanon, into Syria, right? Into Iran. How did you avoid escalation? Motherfucker, you caused it with your weakness and your fucking impotence.
Organized a coalition of 20 countries
Your
to stand up
fecklessness.
to attacks by the Houthis, including their missile attacks in Israel. Then Hezbollah, another of Hamas's strongest backers, was significantly weakened on the battlefield, and its leadership was destroyed. With our support, Israel negotiated a ceasefire with them, and after that, Lebanon finally elected a new president who's not beholden to Hezbollah, and he can begin a new chapter for the Lebanese people. All
you're
told,
not beholden
these
to the
developments in
credit
the
card
region, which the United States helped to shape, changed the equation. And so now, the terror network that once
Delaware.
protected and sustained Hamas is far weaker. Iran is weaker. Iran is weaker than it's been in decades. Hezbollah is badly degraded. And after more than 15 months of war, Hamas's senior leaders are dead. Thousands of Hamas fighters are dead. And the military formations have been destroyed. With nowhere to turn, Hamas finally agreed to releasing
Our
hostages.
presidents can only be beholden to Israel.
There was no other way for this war to end than with a hostage deal. And I'm deeply satisfied.
Saudi Arabia.
This day has finally come.
Saudi Arabia,
for the sake
too.
of the people of Israel and the families waiting in agony. And for the sake of the innocent people in Gaza who suffered unimaginable devastation because of the war.
And China.
The Palestinian people have gone through hell. Too many innocent people have died. Too many communities have been destroyed. In this deal, the people of Gaza can finally recover and rebuild. They can look to a future without Hamas in power. You know, the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers.
The Jews control Saudi Arabia?
Many peacemakers helped make this deal happen, including an extraordinary team of American diplomats who have worked nonstop for months to get this done.
The Jews control Iran.
Secretary Blinken led the effort. Secretary Jake Sullivan,
and black people are white supremacists.
Jake Sullivan, Bill Burns, John Feiner, Brett McGurk, Amos Hochstein, and the Vice President worked relentlessly as we work to deliver this deal. I'd also note,
guys, the Saudi Arabians are Zionists.
Was developed and negotiated under my administration, but its terms will be implemented for the most part by the next administration. In these past few days, we've been speaking as one team. This has been time of real turmoil in the Middle East.
Ash, baby,
but as I prepare to leave office, our friends are strong, our enemies are weak, and there's a genuine opportunities for a new future. In Lebanon, there's an opportunity for a future, free from the grip of Hezbollah. In Syria, a future free from the tyranny of Assad. And for the Palestinian people, a credible pathway to a state of their own. And for the region, a future of normalization, integration of Israel and all its Arab neighbors, including Saudi Arabia.
Bro, we've just been talking about how Trump secured the Israel peace deal, and then this fucker comes out here and starts saying he did it all. Right? Joe Biden didn't fucking threaten Israel and threaten fucking the Middle East that he's gonna fucking unleash hell on them. That was Donald Trump. Right? Now this motherfucker's out here saying he did it. What the fuck? Right? What the fuck? The whole world agrees, by the way. All the newspapers, everybody agrees that Donald Trump is the one that did this, right? I heard this morning that he might even get a Nobel Peace Prize. He might actually get a Nobel Peace Prize for this, Donald Trump. And Joe Biden is trying to be out here trying to take credit for this. Ain't that some bullshit?
At the G20 in Delhi in September 23, I rallied key countries behind a vision of an economic corridor
with a long
from
nap.
India across the Middle East to Europe. That vision can now become a reality. There are risks as well, including ISIS and Iran, even in a badly weakened state.
In all reality, we should be happy.
We're handing off to the next team a real opportunity for a better future for the Middle East. I hope they will take it. Let me close with this. My friend for years in the United States Senate, former Senator George Mitchell, who did so much to forge peace in Northern Ireland.
Here's the question, guys. Is Joe Biden going to exit on his likely last press conference, likely the last one, without answering any questions? Well, what do you guys think? Press 1 if you think he'll bolt. Press 2 if you think he'll answer more than 2 questions. More than 2. 2 is the limit, right? Because they always sneak 1 or 2 in on him, right? So 2 questions still counts as him leaving real quick. All right, let's see. He's going to answer 0.
Alan once said about diplomacy, he said it is a 700 days of failure and 1 day of success. 700 days of failure and 1 day of success.
Yeah, that sounds like your whole entire administration, Joe. Except for we still haven't seen the 1 day of success yet. But you still got 5 days left, buddy. Maybe you might pull it off. Let's go.
Well, we've had many difficult days since Hamas began its terrible war. We've encountered roadblocks and setbacks. We've not given up. And now, after more than 400 days of struggle, a day of success has arrived.
Yeah, for Donald Trump, all you're doing is usurping his glory, right? Which is like par for the course for somebody named Biden.
God bless all the hostages and their families. May God protect the troops of all those who work for peace.
See, I told you he's going to take 1 or 2.
The implementation of this deal will be in the hands of the next administration, and basically they will shape the future of Gaza. So how do you see this future? And also, how much credit do you give to the Trump team for
Cold
this deal?
brick
Trump
Biden.
Well, you know,
If you guys don't know, gold bricking is like not doing anything, like standing on your shovel, leaning on your shovel.
this is the exact framework of the deal I proposed back in May. Exact. And we got the world to endorse it. Secondly, it's America's support for Israel that helped them badly weaken Hamas and its backers and create the conditions for this deal. And thirdly, I knew this deal would have to be implemented by the next team. So I told my team to coordinate
that's some
closely
old world charm
with
on
the
that
incoming team
insult
to
right
make
there.
sure we're all speaking with the same voice, because that's what American presidents do.
No, that was a pre-approved question.
And how many Americans will be released when the hospital?
All the exact detail of how many people are being held, how many bodies will be returned and less, will all be forthcoming. All of it, all of it. Thank you.
Yes, planned questions.
I'm confident.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
3. That's 3. He got it. He did it. He did it.
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
I'm going to count that as 3 questions. He did it. Guys, he answered questions. Way to go, Joe. You beat expectations. Okay, now we will begin shortly, guys. All right. That makes sense. I didn't know Joe was going to come out and speak. How much more money do Californians get after the one-time payment of $750? I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I'm not really concerned with, you guys know me. I'm more a global thinker. Okay. The final, I'll have to get back to you on that. Hey, but at least you said something, right? That's better than the last 200 conferences he's given. Let's see here. Okay, so we were talking about the blockchain. They vote in LA if they don't get more money. They'll vote red in LA if they don't get more money. Maybe. I doubt it. I doubt that. But you don't understand how cities work in America, Uzi. They won't vote. They won't vote Republican. Maybe like 1% or 2% of them will, but that's it. That's why nothing changes in the cities. It's because they won't do that. Right? They'll just vote for a different Democrat. You get it? Now, yeah, also all the votes are rigged. Yeah, because once Democrats get control, they control the way the votes are counted. Now, guys, so back to the blockchain. Okay, so you guys remember, my new image compression software is amazing. I can actually show it to you. Hold on. I can show you the image compression, actually. Let's see here. Okay. Here is a picture of the bubble interface. So this is what my interface looks like, right? This is what the bubble UI looks like, right? Right? And let's go to another one. And here... What happened? Oh. And here is what my image compression looks like. Or not. Right? You can see there's like gradients, there's like some banding. But overall it turned out okay. It turned out okay. I'm really proud of it. I'm really actually happy with how it turned out. Right? Here's the original. Oh, wait. Where'd it go? Here's the original. Here's the compressed image. Here's the original. Here's the compressed image. Right? Now, that's actually really good, guys, for, like, how much we compressed it. Anyway, it's the same picture. No, it's not. It's not. If we zoom in, here, let me zoom in. You'll be able to tell. You'll be able to tell a lot better if we zoom in. Hold on. Hold on. Where is that? Scene 4. Okay. Right? If we zoom in, you can definitely see now. Right? This is the compressed image. This is the original. Compressed. Original. Compressed. Original, right? Let's zoom in a little bit more, right? Compressed, original, right? Now you can kind of see the difference, right? Yeah. Yeah, the gradients pop. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Yes. 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 Yeah, you got it. You guys are smart. See, that's why I love you guys. All right, now. Hey, what's up, blind dude? What's up, blind dude? I'm telling you guys what I've been up to. Okay, now. So I did that. I did some cryptography magic to compress the signatures into one signature, right? So now our transaction size, guys, our transaction size is like between 70 and 80 bytes, right? Depending on how many decimal places the inputs are, right? Right? So by comparison, right? By comparison, a Bitcoin transaction is like 250. That's the smallest it can be, right? So, and then here is also mining. I have eliminated GPU dominance, right? So now the mining is completely fair. and you have a guarantee of a payout. I mean, it's not 100%. Not every single person will get paid, but like 95% of the people will get a guaranteed payout, right? And in fact, most of the people will get a nearly equal payout, right? Most of the people will get it's a bell curve, right? Because it's a natural probabilistic order. But besides a small percentage of people that are extremely unlucky, right? Uh-oh. Are we skipping? Am I skipping? This. My bad. Yeah, where am I at? There we go. Yeah, there we go. No sound? The sound is fucked? No, I have sound. Do you guys have sound? Oh, I know what you're saying. Hold on. This is what it is. No? Oh, we're not live. No, she's still not out. Okay, cool. All right, so now I found a way to use Huffman compression, right? Which is a serial process to insert it in mining so that the GPUs no longer can dominate mining. So now our mining system turns GPUs into shitty microcontrollers, basically. Right? They're no longer capable of parallelizing mining. Because the Huffman compression is a serial process which GPUs can't do very efficiently. So it breaks GPU dominance. Oh, you're out? Cool, Felix. Now, finally, guys. I've changed the way the blockchain functions and the way that it works, right? So now, instead of the blockchain storing the transaction, right, and all the the transfer of the the way that it did it before was inefficient. So what we've done is we've turned the blockchain into a state machine where when you don't transfer, you only transfer balances, right? So it works more like a bank account now. So that at the end, we update your balance in the memory. So it basically gets rid of all the problems with blockchain. It turns it into the block. The output in the transaction is the final state of your balance, right? So it eliminates a bunch of redundancy and a bunch of lookups. Yes. So now your balance is calculated instantly. Right? We load it into memory so that the last state of your balance is stored in memory in a very efficient way with just a few, right? We can track your whole account with just a few hundred bytes in memory. So 1 million users is 200 megabytes, for instance, right? 10 million users is 2 gigabytes, right? 100 million users is 20 gigabytes of memory, right? SD, you're perfect. You're just in time. So I'm talking about where I've been and what I've done. Okay, so SD, I've completely eliminated GPU dominance in mining by inserting a serial compression operation before you check the value of the hash, right? So basically the GPUs just stall and break. They don't know what to do, right? The Huffman operation is a serial process that can't be parallelized, right? So it breaks the power of a GPU to dominate the block creation. So now it becomes inefficient to use a GPU to mine coins. It has to be a CPU, because when you take away the ability of a GPU to parallelize, right, you effectively turn it into a very, very shitty microcontroller. Right? It's not even as good as an ARM processor anymore. You'd rather have an ARM processor than a GPU running in series. Now, running in single core mode. Right? Right? Now, then yes, and now, and hey, what's up, Shad? I love you, buddy. Mad Shank, bro. Knife hands. Yeah, so now everyone is guaranteed a payout, except for very unlucky people. And listen, SD, we simplified the UTXO model. Instead of having to trace every output, right, and recombined outputs to make new inputs, we turned the blockchain into a state machine where we only record the transfers and then we save the final balance as the output. So in the transaction pool, when I calculate your balance to verify your transaction, right, instead of just verifying the transaction, I record your balance as the output, right? Right? And now we have instant O1 lookups. O1 lookups for state retrieval. O1 lookups, buddy. Instant lookups. So I've been working with the AI, and it says that we should be able to handle thousands of transactions per second. Thousands. Thousands of transactions. Yes, per second. To give you to put that into perspective, right? Bitcoin can handle like 4. Right? We can handle thousands. We're now bound to the CPU limit and the network speed, right? So, like, this is a major innovation, And I can't tell you the details of how I pulled it off because it would be very easy just to take this, release a coin, and it would be like the biggest coin that has come out in a long time. Just to take these two innovations that I have, the state machine model and the fair mining. And there's parts to this that I'm leaving out that are that you can't do it without doing this part first, right? But yes. But this is real. It has been tested. It has been evaluated by 2 different AIs, and they both told me that I'm going to change the world. Yes. And guys, we're looking at about, I'm going to be honest, because I have a lot of retrofitting to do, right? Still, like right now, the code, it will not, like it's in a broken state, right? Because I'm in the middle of retrofitting it. But I'm going to say between 2 and 3 months, and we're done. And I mean it this time. Because I've solved these bigger problems, right? Instead of playing catch up and patchwork, I went to the core problem and solved it, right? Yeah, that's what they said, right? Right? Because, guys, the system, listen, okay? It self-organizes, right, independently. Each node will produce the same block independently across the network, right? They don't need to communicate, right? Even if transactions occur in different orders, it all synchronizes itself, right? So it's self-organizing, and each part mimics the other part to where, like, I can swap out the transaction pool for the cash register in a function and get the same result. You see what I'm saying? Right? I can swipe the blockchain out with the transaction pool and get the same result. I can swap the cash register, which is the memory object which tracks the user states, with the transaction pool and get the same user and the same balance. Right? Right? Yeah, no, you guys, we will be rich. We're going to be rich, right? Because this is, I mean, to put it bluntly, what we're doing should be impossible. Like, what I just did, right? I shrunk not only time complexity, but space complexity. You shouldn't be able to do that. But what I didn't, it's not magic, right? I pushed all the complexity into the ordering system. So we squeezed it all into one tiny little area. So the time complexity got spent by all the work I had to do to come up with the solution. And the ordering system. Can it be tied to energy as a commodity? Theoretically, we can tie it to anything. My actual metric was going to be the Big Mac index. The Big Mac index is used as an estimator to determine the value of a good in a system, right? Because McDonald's is such a well-oiled machine, differences in the price of a Big Mac across the globe are dependent not on McDonald's, but on the conditions of those parts of the world, right? And by averaging the price of a Big Mac across the world, we can get the idea of the exchange rate between $1 and another unit of good, right? Does that make sense? So if I want the coin to reflect a real world value, I would say the Big Mac index is actually a better anchor than the price of oil or energy, which is volatile, right? Does that make sense? Because the Big Mac index is like an economic indicator that can tell you that you can use to predict the future and stabilize the price of your commodity, in our case, a coin, right? Time is money, carbon credits for power saving. I don't understand. Call it the Big Mao index? What? What are you talking about, Frank? And it's got an insulation rating on your rig, on your test rig. What? Well, no, guys. See, the MECG index. Right? Well, we have to be realistic, right? So, no, we're not going to tie our coin to the Big Mac index, but we are going to anchor it, if that makes sense. Anchor it by meaning when we calculate its value, we're going to do it against the Big Mac. Like, how many Big Macs can we buy with one coin? That will be how we determine the value of our coin. In our calculations for our monetary balancing, right? So when we try to figure out what's the value of the coin when we want to determine rewards for the system in order to keep the system vibrant, right? We're going to say, how many Big Macs can we buy with one coin, right? Right? Well, yeah, I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's actually a good way to know how much your asset is worth. Other people do it. Yes, you get it, SD, right? Yes. Yeah. So when we're bound, right? Because the system is dynamic. It has a hard cap. It has like a fee structure. It has, right? If we have something that no other coin has, guys, our coin has something that no other coin has. A use case for giving likes and following users in a social media platform. Right? I don't have a phone number, blind dude. I don't have a phone. I don't have. You can get my Facebook. Tell me it's you. Tell me it's you, and I'll add you to my Facebook, and you can call me on there. Twitter. Yes, no, okay, so we have a real world use case, guys, and this is where it gets genius, right? So, for instance, YouTube, right? YouTube takes 30% of your super chats, right? And 50% or more of your ad revenue. They don't tell you exactly, but it's something like that, right? Right? Bubble will only take 22% of your system generated revenue, like from likes, follows, super chats, right? Right? Only the top earners will pay the most tax at 22%. The bottom earners will pay the lowest tax at 15%, right? So that way we don't squeeze little channels as they grow, right? We give them a less of a burden, right? And we push that burden off to the top earners so that the little guys have room to grow. Right? Right? So why? Why do we have all these fees? Well, we use those fees to balance the economy so that we can control inflation, right? And rewards. When we're in a heavily deflationary cycle, right? We can increase rewards, right? As the coin supply is dropping, right? And we can grow the network, right? We can use that giveaway to bring more people in, right? Right? So then that also incentivizes us to build services on top of the network that we can charge fees to burn so that we can, because the more fees we burn, right, the more coins I can give away for posting new content, right? Right? Because that's how we keep the system moving, right? Right? User A likes user B, right? He pays $1 to like user B, but 20% of that is tax, right? Right? You burn 20% as tax, and that 20% gets recycled back to the bottom, and Bobby posts new content, and at the end of the block, the hash matches his ID, and he wins the content prize, right? No, SD. SD. No, listen. We can do peer-to-peer, right? Private trades, decentralized, where you host your trade, your contract on your computer, right? Right? Your contract to buy coins at a price or your contract to sell coins at a price, right? Right? Listen, like local Bitcoins, right? And we use Cash App's public API. Cash App has a public API with a transaction ID, just like Bitcoin has a transaction ID. And we could just verify the Cash App IDs to transfer funds. Or we can verify the Bitcoin ID to transfer funds. Right? 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 So now you can turn Bubble into Bitcoin, or turn Bubble into Cash App, or turn Cash App, or turn Bubble, or turn Bitcoin into Bubble, and then into Cash App. You get it? You get it? You get it? Yeah. Yeah. You can turn Litecoin into Bubble into Bitcoin. You get it? But you have to get Bubble. You need Bubble. You get it? Yeah, the AI is already confirmed that this is possible. Right? The AI has already shown me code on how to access Cash App's API. Right? I can even integrate your Cash App wallet into your account. Right? Because the Bubble interface runs on the HTML5 on the Chrome browser or whatever, right? So you could just sign in your Cash App into your Bubble. And then like literally send funds from your Bubble. Brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, like local Bitcoins, right? No, I don't make any money. You guys don't get this. I don't make any money. All of the fees go back to you. They go into mining rewards, right? They go into airdrops, right? They go into what do you call it when you post, right? There's like a lottery. Like every block has winners for the post lottery, right? So, and then that's determined by the block hash. So, like, if you post and your number comes up, you get a reward, right? And that's how we can do that, is by building services, right? And every time you trade, you burn a little bubble. Yes, you burn a little bit of bubble every time you trade, every time you like, every time you send a transaction, right? But the beauty is, because we have this economy built on top of it, we can send transactions for like 0.1%. Like one penny on $10. Right? So $100 for 10 cents. $1,000 for $1, right? Because we can subsidize those transaction fees through you guys buying likes for the content you support. Right? Right? That's the whole thing. Is that, see, this is like the way we've been doing this channel, right? You guys have been supporting me through, what is it? Venmo, right? The Venmo, right? Well, that proved to me, right? The fact that you guys will send me a Venmo was proof to me that you guys would buy me a bubble to support me, right? You get it? Right? That content creators, that content consumers will jump through a hoop in order to support the content creators that they enjoy, right? That they have a connection with, right? Right? So, yes. So I'm certain that this model will work because I've pretty much depended on it working. And the fact that I'm still here means that this model definitely works, right? So, yeah. Where the fuck is this press secretary? Guys. Yes. So, Yeah, no, and not only that, but like I said, peer-to-peer private trades, right? In a matchmaking type thing, you host your contract to buy, you host your contract to sell, right? No, it is a good name. It's hilarious. It's hilarious, Usi. Usi, that's the funniest name that I've ever heard. What are you saying? Indeed, especially if it's near effortless. Most people keep an authentication away from a transaction. Yes. Yeah, but what you don't get, Usi, is it's also a social media platform. And in that context, like my personal bubble, right? A thought bubble, a speech bubble. The logo itself is a speech bubble, is an abstract speech bubble, right? It's actually a little man screaming that nobody will hear him. Hold on. I'll show you. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on, I need somewhere to drop it. Oh no. Come on, cooperate. It's not cooperating. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Yeah. So, that's the logo. Right? You see the little man screaming, the little Pac-Man? He's screaming, right? He's saying, you will hear me! I will not be silenced! Right? 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 And it's a little speech, it's abstract. Because people complained that it wasn't modern enough, that it was too old school. It's still old school, it's still very retro looking. It's like Firebird blue. I chose that color specifically to remind you of the 1950s. Yeah. I chose it to specifically remind you of the 1950s. But I don't like the block letters anymore. I'm thinking of going with more 50s looking record letters. Just to drive it home, right? Like the 50s, like how everything, like with the sparkly, like cursive-y looking stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Starlight Diner would be written. Right? Like that. Like that. Like Tucson looks. Have you ever been to Tucson, Arizona? Like that. Like that. That's what it should look like. Have you ever been to Tucson? Yeah, so let's see. We are still waiting on the press secretary. I didn't even know she was going to come out. I already did my brag. Florida's the same way, like Daytona Beach. Like Daytona Beach, then, if you're in Florida. Or Atlantic City, if you're in New Jersey. All those places, right? Reno, Nevada. Have you been to Reno? Like Reno. Like how all the text is written in Reno. On hotels and stuff. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like that. Like that cursive writing where the I is dotted with an asterisk. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like that. I'm thinking of changing it like that. Even though there's no I in it or whatever. But like that. So that it really drives home the 1950s. Like feel of it. Changing the B. Well, I don't know what to do. We're waiting, guys. I don't know what to say. If she was supposed to come out at 1:30, it's now 3 o'clock. It's now 3 o'clock. That is very late for black time, even. We're going to miss that joke. I'm going to miss blaming them being late on black time. But you know what? I have a feeling Pam Bondi won't be an hour and a half late. I just have that feeling. Something about the Trump administration, I don't know what it is, just screams promptness to me. The Tucson Mall. Joe's giving his farewell address tonight. Oh, we're going to see that. Hey, who's that just came in? Hey, Purple Mojo, what's up? Fish sticks. Hey, you guys like fish sticks? All right. We are like literally running out of things to talk about. I literally described all of my innovations to blockchain. Yeah, guys. Yeah, we've done something impossible. We've done it. It's what we've done was impossible when I set out to do it. If I would have known when I didn't know anything, what I was setting out to do, I wouldn't have started. But luckily, the world has changed since then, and the technology has come about to make this possible. And plus, I'm a genius. I came up with a way of looking at the blockchain as a transitional state machine, right? That's really what it was. It's not Turing complete. Like, you can't program it to do other shit. It will only fucking calculate balances. But that's good enough. Well, not just balances. It aggregates. It aggregates your interactions and things. So you will always know every user, right? You know all the users. Like, you will always know a user, his ID, his balance, how many friends he has, how many friends he follows, how many likes he's given, how many likes he's received, how many times he's hated people, how many times people have hated him, right? Well, I don't know about that. No, we won't know that. You will know how much tax he's generated, right? And his overall clout on the network, which will be like an aggregate score of like all those things combined. So we'll come up with a score that gives you a clout ranking, and that will determine, like, I don't know, how often your posts are seen or whatever. How far they reach. What's going on, Tam Tam? Right? A guy with a low clout might only go 1 or 2 hops from his subscribers, right? But a guy with high clout might saturate the network, right? Deagle.com used to say that the U.S. population would decline to under 100 million by 2025. What the fuck happened? I don't know. Now, guys, somebody told me that Spicy Peach is has passed away. Does anybody know anything about that? I heard that. No, ST, exactly. No, we do not do things because they are easy. Maybe by the end of 2025. I don't know, man. Trump has, bro, he's been living up to his expectations, right? He basically fired Trudeau, right? Trump's not even president yet, and he fired Trudeau. He fired Trudeau. Let that sink in. Donald Trump fired Trudeau. Already. He's not even president. Now, what else happened? Oh, he ended the motherfucking war. She did pass? Oh, that's terrible. Okay, moment of silence for Spicy Peach, guys. Moment of silence. Everyone send out their well wishes to our friend. I can't light the written hookah, but I'm going to burn one. Guys, better red than dead. Or better dead than red, huh? Better dead than red, huh? Better dead than red, y'all. I know. And she never will be. How about saying she was red? How about a moment of silence for Karine, huh? Of White Rhino? Hell yeah, bro. Hey, look, guys. Look, we got George Custer. Not Tecumseh, the other one. The other Custer from the Civil War. The other Custer. We got George the other Custer. Sherman. George Sherman Custer, I think it is. George S. Custer, I think it is. Sherwood, Sherman, something like that. How do I remember this shit, dude? How do I remember? Let's look it up. Armstrong Custer. My bad. No, that's the one that's the other one. Okay, no, then it's George T. Custer, then. I don't know, there's another Custer that looks like that with the beard. Oh, I will. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Oh, there she is.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Karine.
Hi. I haven't seen you in a while. This is a good day. You all have just heard the terrific news.
Yeah, Joe
from the
Biden
president
took
that
credit
after
for
15
Donald
months
Trump's shit,
of war,
guys.
Israel and Hamas have reached a ceasefire and hostage deal. This deal will halt the fighting in Gaza, surge much-needed humanitarian assistance to Palestinian civilians who have been living in dire conditions, and it will reunite the hostages, including Americans.
All
with their
12 of
families.
them, guys. All 12. We got 12 back. That's a 5% recovery rate. Good job, guys. Good job, bro. You fucking badasses. You did it. You got all 5% of them back.
After more than 15 months in captivity, experiencing unimaginable
She looks
suffering.
good, actually. I like her.
Over
in
the
that
past
green
few
color.
days, President Biden spoke with the leaders of Israel, Qatar, and Egypt to continue to push negotiations forward and reach the resolution we announced today. The process has been steered out of the West Wing at the direction of the President by National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan and driven to completion through relentless diplomacy by Middle East Coordinator Brett McGurk, who has been actively negotiating day and night in Doha. I will note that Brett is currently in meetings with foreign leaders, and when he emerges, the National Security Council is going to host a background call to answer more of your questions. Secretary Blinken, Director Burns have traveled regularly to the region in recent months and throughout the past year and been in close touch with the key players in the region to advance negotiations forward. President Biden has also directed his team to work closely with the incoming administration to ensure all spoke with one voice on the need to secure a deal. As the president said, we have reached this point because of the pressure Israel has put on Hamas, while with the backing of the United States. Sinwar was killed. Iran's attacks against Israel failed thanks to the support from the United States. We have built a coalition of nations to defend against Houthi attacks. We negotiated a ceasefire after Hezbollah was significantly weakened, and Iran is weaker today than it has been in decades. These developments, which the United States helped shape, have created new conditions in the region, conditions that have led to the outcome we are seeing today. Today, even as we welcome this news, we remember all of the families whose loved ones were killed in Hamas's horrific October 7th attack, and the many innocent people who have been killed in the war that followed. It is long time for the fighting to end and the work of building peace and security to begin. The families of the American hostages are at the forefront of our hearts and minds today. They have been through a terrible ordeal that I cannot begin to imagine. Under this deal, President Biden is determined to finally bring their loved ones home. Now, again, Brett McGurk is the best equipped to answer the specific implementation questions, as he has been directly involved in extensive negotiations, obviously on the ground. In the meantime, we wanted to come out here to speak to the news and also answer any other questions that you may all have. But before I even move forward to taking your questions, I want to do one of those.
Won't go no smaller.
As a former senator, now President Biden would say.
Well, we'll leave it there for
one of
now,
my
and then we'll fix
personal
it later.
privilege here. Today
We'll fix it
is
later.
the 537th briefing of the Biden-Harris administration. This is my 306th
She's
briefing
looking chunky
and the final
'cause she's
briefing of the
stress eating.
administration.
Oh,
Before I
be
get to all your
nice.
questions, I just want to say a few things and also just give out a few thank yous, if that's okay. So we had the first briefing of this administration on Inauguration Day, because President Joe Biden wanted to make clear the importance of daily press briefings and the vital role that the press plays in our democracy. President Biden believed in returning the norm of regular
We'll fix it
briefings
later,
and
guys.
communicating to
We'll
all of
make
you
it- we'll
and
draw
the
it,
American
actually
people
draw it on
about
the wall.
what we are doing and why it was
But
important.
here, let's put some
The
love
president
inside.
and all of
Send
us
her
in
our
this
love,
administration
guys.
understand that a
Hold
free
on.
press is a cornerstone
We'll put love
of our
inside.
nation. And that the job you do
What I did was I
questioning
made an
leaders
object
and holding the powerful
that has a
accountable
function called
is
Spicy
important.
Peach.
And as I said during my first briefing, when I took over this role,
That will
we might
generate
not see eye to eye
its own
here
data.
in this room all of the time.
That
And that
it
is
will
okay.
fill its own It'll
The give and
populate
take that
its own
happens
object.
here is incredibly healthy, and it is part of our
And we
democracy.
stuck some love inside of it.
I have been honored to partake in it with
I
all
stuck
of
a little
you.
heart inside of
Well,
it. And
most
so
of
we
the
can
time.
send our love there.
I've been honored to take it. But in all seriousness,
So we passed in some love into the
I also
Spicy
said at
Peach
the first
function.
briefing, I would not be here today if it were not for
As we put her in
generations
her
of
little rib
barrier-breaking
object.
people before me. I have stood on their shoulders. I benefit from their sacrifices. I have learned excellence, and I am eternally grateful to them.
Oh,
And now
she's
I
grateful,
will pass
guys,
the
for her
torch.
opportunity.
It is my sincere hope that I, while I may be the first for many things at this podium, behind this lectern,
You're the
I am
first
not the
one to
last.
ever get
I
laughed
hope
off
my
the podium,
presence at
yes.
this podium has served as inspiration to many young girls out there who look at me and look at this job and look at what we've been able to do and have a similar background as me. And hopefully they can follow their dreams and never give up and know that you can
Don't
achieve
spill
great
hydrogen
things if you
peroxide
put
on
your
your
heart
dyke
and
head.
mind and be passionate about it, no matter how many barriers you may
Oh, they
need
should
to
keep her and
overcome.
make her say the
Progress is
opposite
not
shit of
always
what
a
she was
straight
saying
line.
before.
But
She
we
would
all
totally
must do
it,
our
I bet.
part. In the words
bet
of
you
Dr.
money
Martin
she
Luther
would do
King Jr., whose
She has
birthday
no
is
ethics.
indeed today, bend it towards justice.
She has no
And pay
loyalty.
it forward. I hope that
She's got no
I
spot waiting
and
for
many
her on
barrier-breaking
MSNBC,
colleagues
guys.
in this administration have played a small role in doing just that. Standing here and having served in this role for this administration and this president has truly been the honor of a lifetime, one I am grateful for and I will never forget. But it is a job I could never have done alone. And so finally, I do want to say a few thank yous to a few people in this room that I've gotten the pleasure to work with. I want to start off by thanking the best team in the business: Emily, Andrew, Kelly, Robin, Angelo, Jeremy, Sonia, Chloe, Jacob, Chris. You are simply the best. And thank you so much for having my
Thank you,
back
guys.
and doing this job and having the
Thank you
president's
guys
back
for letting me
and
stand
doing
up
it
here.
so well. Truly the best.
Even though I'm not
You work
qualified just because I'm
tirelessly,
black and gay.
passionately, and with utmost professionalism.
Don't forget, I was black and gay,
You
guys. I was
served the
black and
president and
gay.
this nation well.
That's what I
am
did. I
proud
was
to call
black
you
and
all my
gay.
friends and
That's why you
colleagues.
should love
None
and
of this would be
remember me,
possible
because I
without
was
all of
black
you.
and
I
gay,
also
guys.
want to acknowledge some of the former
I'm a
team
gay
members who
black.
are with us today. There's
Or as they
whereabouts
say,
here,
in that
in the
one
back.
video, that
and,
comedy video.
You know, as you all know,
Nigger faggot.
She's
She's
many of
nigger
them left
faggot,
to
guys.
continue to do some impressive work outside.
I'm just saying
and
that in a
obviously,
funny way, and in
continue
a
to do
meme
some
way.
work within the
Like how it
administration.
memes back to that
Chris,
video.
Vedant is
If
here
you've
as
ever
well,
seen
who
that
just had
video,
a baby girl.
you know what I'm talking
Congratulations,
about.
Vedant. I had to call you out for that, which is wonderful. You and your
Just
wife
type it into
brought a
Google right
beautiful
now, or
little girl.
YouTube.
Alexandra,
If you haven't seen it,
Silas,
type it into
Allison,
to YouTube right
Angela,
now.
Natalie, It is all good to see you, and thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for your service. And Jen Psaki, who's in the back, thank you so much. I see you, and I'm so grateful that you took the time.
I would
to
only
be
say
here.
that word
And
because
so
that's
thank you
actually
for
the
your
name of the
kindness.
joke,
Thank you for
the name
your
of the video.
friendship.
It's
And
actually
we've
the
missed you
name of the
around here,
video.
and it's so good to
That's
see
why I
you.
have to say that. Okay.
I also want to thank my parents. Growing up as an immigrant family.
Oh, she's an immigrant too, guys. I forgot. She's a black gay immigrant.
They work day and night to give me every opportunity possible. I can't thank them enough. And to my parents, sorry I didn't become a doctor, but hopefully this is okay. And to my lovely, amazing daughter, you have gone too many nights without me being around and without me being there for school
Yes,
drop-offs.
I am just saying
And
the name
without
of
your
a
mama
video.
around.
Yes.
And I can't wait to spend
It is
more
the
time
title
with
of
you.
the video.
I call her my pudding, so I can't wait to spend more time with you, pudding. Thank you for your love and support and your patience.
And
And
it's
finally,
the joke of the video too. It's how you can't
finally,
say that,
I do
and
want
the
to
guy
say
wouldn't
thank you
say
to
it.
President Biden and First Lady Dr. Biden
What
for
he had
this
to say.
incredible
That's like-
opportunity.
And
As
I
I said
said
earlier,
it
standing at this podium behind
because
this lectern,
that's the joke. I
serving
don't know. You
the
gotta watch
American
the video.
people and this administration has been an honor of a lifetime. And I will
If
be
you haven't
forever
seen the
grateful
video, you have to
to
watch
the
it now.
president for his trust and this amazing opportunity. And with that, thank you for your patience all. I appreciate that. With
Just
that,
type it into YouTube, it'll come up.
Thanks, Karine. When will the American hostages who are being held by Hamas
From
be released?
collegehumor.com
Will they be released
or
in
whatever.
phase one, or will that come in subsequent phases?
And so the president answered this a little bit when he was speaking earlier today. He mentioned phase one. That's when we're going to be seeing that.
Gosh, it's so terrible.
So there'll be more details that Brett McGurk will share right after this briefing. But what I will say is just to give you a little bit of how it will work. So during the first phase, which will begin on Sunday, the fighting will stop. Hostages will begin to be released, and aid will surge into Gaza. During these weeks, the second phase of the deal will continue to be negotiated to bring a permanent and end this war. If
Guys, remember,
negotiations take
Joe
longer than
Biden
6
did
weeks,
not
the ceasefire
cause
will
this
continue
deal. It was
to hold
Donald
as
Trump
long as
literally
negotiations
making threats
continue.
on
This deal
Twitter
was
that did
developed
this.
by the
And I know that
president,
sounds
and
hilarious.
his team about 8 months ago back in May. You
But
heard
this
the
is the
president
world
talk
we
about
live
that,
in
that
now.
This was the framework. And once he was able
You guys
to put
don't
out
know
the
how
framework, it
powerful
was
social
endorsed,
media is.
by the world. And so we are certainly, as the president started off in his remarks to the American people.
I know
to all of you as well, this
it's
is a good
Gay
day.
Niggers
This is
from
a good
Outer
day. This is a
Space
good step
is the
forward.
name of the
And so
movie
Brett
that you
McGurk,
are
after
referring
this,
to.
After this briefing, we'll have a call to give more details of how this is going to move forward. But again, this is a very good step forward.
And then, as you mentioned, the president announced this framework back in May of last year. It's now a deal is going to reach 5 days before this administration's term ends.
No, I have to say it. It's the accurate.
The next president gets sworn in.
I don't like saying it either, guys, but I have to say it.
Credit to his successor, and that there's a forcing mechanism by that
It is
transition.
the title of
helping
the
push
movie.
this deal
So a
toward
couple of
finish line.
things, and you said this in your question to me. This is a framework that the president put forth about 8 months ago back in May. Again, it was endorsed by the world when he put out this framework.
I don't care, guys. She's still
His
sexy
team
as
has
fuck.
worked, because of the direction of the president, obviously has worked 24/7, night and day to get this done. You're going to hear directly from Brett McGurk, who's been on the ground, who's been in Doha at the direction of the president, obviously, with the leadership of National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. And what we see this day as, this is a good day. This is a good day. Hostages are being...
Oh, you quit smoking cigarettes? Hell yeah, Felix.
American hostages to their families.
Yeah,
And
guys, we're getting all the hostages home.
What?
All 12 of them. All 12 hostages, guys, are going home. Karine, weren't there something like 250 hostages taken? Yeah, and all 12 of them are going home. Guys, it's an amazing achievement by Joe Biden. He finally got all 12 of them to go home. No, Donald Trump, actually. See, if Joe Biden did what Donald Trump did, like if Joe Biden would have done that in, like, I don't know, January of 2024, all the hostages would have been home by when there was like 100 of them left. You guys remember when I was like, our estimates are like there's maybe 100 hostages left, something like that, right? We could have got them then. Right? Remember when I was like, normally they would send special forces in to get these guys out, right? And I looked it up, and yes. Do you know that special forces has like rescued thousands of hostages? Thousands. That's just the Navy SEALs. I didn't look at like Army Special Forces or like, any of those other ones, right? Just the Navy SEALs have rescued thousands of civilian and military assets, right? I'm a mud shark. I just like beautiful women, bro. I know it. I can admit, even if it's someone I hate, that they're beautiful.
Did something so unimaginable, launch an attack that was...
Yo, Pam Bondi is a looker too, guys. I mean, she is no Kayleigh McEnany.
Because of that attack on October 7th, and we have been working.
But she's on par with Karine.
To get this.
She's at least as attractive, if not slightly prettier, depending on your preferences.
We're going to continue to speak with the Trump transition. You heard even from National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan on Monday talk about how they have been coordinating with the Trump team, keeping them abreast, having regular conversations with them about this. And, now we understand that this is going to be implemented by the next team. And so we're going to continue to work with until January 20th, we're going to continue to work closely.
Guys, what do you want to bet that them hostages are at home sipping Earl Grey by January 20th? Right? Them hostages are back in motherfucking Tel Aviv sipping fucking Earl Grey tea by the time Donald Trump fucking takes the oath of office, guys.
What we have seen from this president over the last 8 months, since the 15th,
place your bet.
Talking about this particular matter, that's what American president does. That's what they do.
That's what they do.
That's what we've seen from this president in his life.
Oh, if you guys are just joining us, hold on, I got to show you something. For those of you that weren't here in the beginning, Denmark has sent a negotiation team to Donald Trump not to sell Greenland to us, guys. No, we're not buying Greenland. The Queen of Denmark is basically going to give us Greenland. Like, we don't own it, but we can do whatever we want. Denmark sent private messages in recent days to President-elect Trump's team expressing a willingness to discuss boosting security in Greenland or increasing the U.S. military presence on the island. Two sources with knowledge told Axios. Right? I just want to let you know. These are the outcomes that we have. Greenland, we don't even have to buy Greenland. They're just going to give us what we want. They're just going to capitulate. Donald Trump fired Justin Trudeau, and all the hostages will be home in Tel Aviv drinking Earl Grey tea by the time that fucking Donald Trump puts his hand on the Bible. Right?
It will be implemented by the next president. There's coordination between the White House.
These are the things that he promised to do, and he has done them.
Has the president spoken at all with his successor, and outside of the very brief ceremonial tea that they will have on the morning of the 20th?
If I were to tell you on October 15th that by the time Donald Trump was elected president, Justin Trudeau would quit in shame, you wouldn't believe me. You would say there's no way that would be the outcome, yet here we are.
Does he plan on having a more substantive conversation with him about his strategy and the briefing and the relationship?
That Justin Trudeau would lose in a flame war on Twitter and quit in disgrace.
One thing I will remind you, when he invited the President-elect Trump to the White House, they met for more than 90 minutes. And that's a pretty long time, a significant time to have a heart-to-heart, a bit of a conversation. So that happened, as you know, right after the election. I don't have anything to read out at this time of upcoming conversation or conversations that's happened since their meeting in the Oval Office. But again, the Trump transition team and our team have been in constant communication, having these conversations, keeping them abreast. This president made a commitment. He made a commitment that he wanted to see a peaceful transfer of power, something that he didn't get 4 years ago. But he wanted to make sure to continue that tradition and do a peaceful transfer of power. That's what you have seen. He wanted to make sure the transition was effective, efficient, and that's what we have provided. And like I said, we're going to be in close touch with our team and their team in the next couple of days.
And just lastly, on a different topic, you've said the president has been weighing preemptive pardons for all sorts of officials who he fears may be targeted by the incoming administration. Has he made a decision? And given that this is the last briefing, if he were to decide to issue those pardons, could you commit now that there'll be an opportunity to ask questions of the outgoing administration before noon on the 20th about any presidential action?
I don't have anything to announce. You are correct. You could expect more pardons. I'm not going to go into details of what that's going to look like. It is not unusual for a president to do that. And so you should expect that from this president. I'm not going to make any commitments right now. I'm not going to lock ourselves into a potential another opportunity to ask questions about the pardons. But what I can say is stay tuned, and there will be more to share. And I'm sure the president's going to want to continue to engage with all of you in the next couple of days. Okay, Lucia.
Thank you.
See you in a while. Good to see you.
Good to see you, and thank you so much for taking our questions so often.
Thank you. I
Really
appreciate it. Thanks, Lucia.
So, in terms of implementing the terms of this agreement, how confident is President Biden that the incoming administration will do that, and have they offered any assurances that they will carry them out?
I think there's a commitment to move forward with this deal. I think there's a commitment to make sure that there's an end to this war. Obviously, hostages are going to be coming home. Obviously, we've been in very close touch with the Trump transition. And the president was asked some variation of that question moments ago after he spoke, and he said he is very much indeed confident. So look, we understand this is going to be implemented by the next team, as I just stated. We are going to work closely, in close coordination with the Trump team. As the president has said, and I have said also moments ago, we want this to be in one voice, right? I think that's what you have seen in the past couple of weeks, how we have moved forward in one voice. And this is what's important for the hostages, to get them home, to make sure that we're getting that humanitarian aid into Gaza, and to ending this war that has taken a lot of innocent lives. And so that is the commitment. That is a commitment that you can see from us, and that's what the president believes, that he is confident in how we're going to move forward.
Tonight, President Biden is going to be delivering a farewell address. Ahead of that speech, we got a long list of what he views as his greatest accomplishments.
Yeah. Over 100 pages, I believe, right? Did you read? Did you have every word?
We have every Can you talk about what he thinks his greatest failures are, and whether he will address those tonight to the American public?
So look, this is an important moment for the president. He has been working on the speech, because obviously these are farewell remarks, but he is obviously going to be talking directly to the American people. It is not going to be partisan. This is something that, and not just forget, it's not just about the last 4 years of his administration.
Yeah, they do know the show's over.
Down from his career, right? More than 50 years of public service.
SD says, I spend $1,100 a month on beer, and I'm ashamed of myself. I should be spending $2,000. Buddy, you got to switch to Samuel Smith's. At Samuel Smith's Oatmeal Stout, buddy, at $3 a beer, you will be able to break that $2,000 mark. They're actually $5 a beer now. My bad. At $5 a beer, you'll be able to easily hit that $2,000 mark in a week, buddy.
Imagine the president has a lot to say, a lot of thoughts that he wants to share, really touch on the moment that we're in right now. And so that's what you're going to hear.
Oh, wait. SD.
Do, obviously, is
SD. I need your opinion. Okay, listen. In order to unlock the state machine inside of the blockchain, there's one caveat, there's one limitation that we have now. And that is that when you send a transaction in a block, you can't send another one. You can only send one transaction every block, right? Your balance is effectively locked. It's not really locked. It's locked out of the transaction pool, right? Right? I have a way to mitigate this, but I haven't implemented it yet, and I'm not going to for a while, right? I have more important things, but that is the caveat, right? So the block time is 4 minutes, so you can send a transaction again after 4 minutes, and you can send a multi-transaction during the block. So if you have a lot of people to pay, you can pay them all at once instead of sending them many transactions, right? But you can't send 2 transactions because that could create a race condition and a double spend scenario.
Also be positive. Talk about what we have been
Sorry,
able
guys.
to do. This is a president that's
I just want to get
possibilities,
SD his
and how
opinion
he
because
sees
he's
this
a
country moving forward.
like a power
And
crypto
so that's
user,
what
so I want to know his opinion on
I'm not
these
going to get
things.
ahead of what specifically what the president's going to say. I'm not going to go into line by line, but I can say, and I love to say that from here, is stay tuned, and I will leave it there.
And then finally for you, because you've clearly reflected on your role as press secretary, is there anything you wish you had done or said differently during your time?
Well, I will have a lot of time to reflect, right? You're not going to catch me up here at leisure today, but I will have a lot of time to reflect on my time here. As you know, this is, and I think you've gotten to know a few press secretaries during your career, this is a job that's nonstop. There's not a lot of time to reflect. It's always, we have to do the job, we have to speak on behalf of the president, we have to make sure that we're communicating with all of you. But what I can say
Exactly, that's how I see it, and
is that this has been an honor and a privilege to do.
And once you understand why we do that, right? That it completely eliminates the chance for double spends ever, no matter what, right? Then you understand that it's actually a small price to pay, and it unlocks the state machine.
This job, and I have done it to my best of abilities on behalf of this president, and
Yes, I have a transaction scheduler. That's the ultimate solution, right? Like, you schedule it for the next block, right? And then you can send as many transactions as you want, and with a reduced fee, right? But if you want it in this block, you get locked out of the transaction pool until the next block, right? So you can get instant transmission, or you can get lower fees and multiple transaction queuing. Yeah, so that's acceptable, right? Okay, cool. We agree.
So,
Great.
the best job that I will ever have. I truly believe that.
Thank you.
Ken, Mary.
Thank you, Karine. You and the President have stressed that this is the framework that he put forward last spring, but the President also made clear it was important to him to work with the incoming administration, that they be speaking in one...
Right, because the transaction will still post, right? You'll get an ID back, right, that says it's in the system. It just won't have an amount or, like, a receiver or anything. It'll just, like, be a reservation, right?
As one team, as he put it. Even the Qatari Prime Minister, in his remarks, personally thanked Steve Witkoff, the incoming administration's Middle East envoy. So do Donald Trump and his team deserve any credit for this?
I mean, look, everyone is going to want some credit. Everybody's going to want some credit. Get that? That's how this goes when something good happens. Not unusual. It is not unusual at all. What I can say is the president got it done, right? That's what I can say. And what I could also say is that, and you said it in your question to me, is that there was a framework that was put forward, and it was put forward by the president back in May 31st of last year, and it was endorsed by the world. And you see a president that has done everything that he can. This is someone who has foreign policy experience, decades of foreign policy experience.
And remember, you're not going to have to, like, rush your coins off an exchange to another exchange or anything like that, right? Like, because the exchange is going to be built in, right? And you're going to be able to, like, it's going to be an interesting scenario because it's going to be more like a message board where, like, remember local Bitcoins? I will buy Bitcoins for $100 and I will sell Bitcoins for $120, right? Remember how that was, right? Right? So you might wind up in a scenario where a guy can sell at a price way below market value or way above, right? It just all depends on the buyer, right? So you won't have to, like, what I'm saying is, like, you won't have to you never have to leave the platform for exchanging, gaming, right? Because we're going to do gambling, too. Gambling, right? Because it's all peer-to-peer, right? It's not illegal for me to make a bet with you, right, on a football game at home, right? It's the same principle, right? All these things.
Understands what it means to bring people together. He understands what it means to get a deal done. He also said in his remarks how difficult it was to negotiate. Negotiating is incredibly hard, and this wasn't easy. But
I know it wasn't easy. It was easy. All it took was for Donald Trump to set the terms, right? Once Donald Trump came in and set the terms to the fucking hostage negotiations, well, you know, the hostages got released or are getting released or whatever.
You know, this is someone who speaks from experience, and this is
I do.
Not an easy thing to get done, but as
like the blackjack. Remember the blackjack faucet? They still have one. Freebitcoins.com, where you play the dice game. Yeah. I remember in the very beginning, like the blackjack, the roulette. Remember? Remember there was blackjack and roulette that was based on the blockchain? Like you had to wait, and then when the next block came, like whatever the last value was the number or whatever, right?
As we've said, and I've said multiple times, and I think Jake Sullivan said this obviously recently when he was here on Monday, we were able to work closely with the Trump transition team and coordinate with them.
I used to play one that was a Plinko. It was Plinko. It was like Bitcoin Plinko. You send a Bitcoin, and then your Bitcoin will roll down the screen. And if it lands in the bucket, you get money back. I used to love that game. I was so addicted to that game. I would always be sending $1 like all day long, bro.
Again, this is a framework that the president put out, and negotiations aren't easy, and this is one of the toughest negotiations that he experienced, and this is something that the president shared with all of you.
And does the president have any plans to talk to the families of the hostages, or has he talked to them today?
So as you know, the president and this administration has been in regular touch with the hostages.
No, bro, I'm doing a... Look, listen. A 2D top-down third-person shooter, right? Right? 2D top-down third-person shooter, right? With ray casting. So when you approach a corner, you don't see around the corner until your ray can see beyond. So your rays, your radiance dictate how far you can see and what objects you can see in the game, right? So it's a way to turn like Call of Duty into a top-down 2D shooter, right? I actually stole this idea. It's not my idea at all. It's if you watch a YouTube channel called Game Hut, there's a developer that was from Software Creations. They did like Sonic 3D Chaos or whatever it was. Sonic Blast. They did Sonic 3D Blast, and they did Pugsy. Anyway, like XCOM? I don't know. I've never played XCOM. But probably like XCOM. Is that what it's like? Where everything is a shadow around your guy, right? You have a little circle, a vignette where you can see, right? And if you go and you can't see around the corner until you're a certain distance past the corner, right? Right? No, listen to this. Listen to this, right? So, you have a level, right? You have like a level. Yes, Fog of War, exactly. Like Command and Conquer, exactly. But it's a top-down shooter. All right, Ash, thanks for coming, bro. Yeah. So, yeah. And you have a level, right? And yeah, it's good to see you too, brother. Your avatar has a level, right? Your avatar can die, right? If it's killed in the game, there's a chance that it will die forever, right? And the more times it's died, the higher the chance gets, right? 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 But you gotta like buy little upgrades while you play, right? 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 Like you can like buy like consumables. Right? And all the consumables, right? All that shit goes into the pot, right? Right? And you can like respawn, right? Until your guy dies, right? Like and fucking you can every time you respawn you have to buy back in, right? Right? And it all goes into the pot. Think about that. And but you're like your user rank in the game you earn while playing. No, you're gambling. You're gambling. You only earn if you win. You're gambling, Mythos. It's a gambling thing. Right? It's like a death match, right? Where you got to pay to respawn. Winner takes all. Yes. Yes. You can buy upgrades or you can find upgrades too, right? And you get like your life back for kills and shit like that, right? Right? Like there's a game, we gamify it to where if you're good, you win, and if you suck, you can pay to level the playing field, right? Right? But good people won't have to buy shit. And their level will be higher. So even when they die, right, their new character will start out more badass than a shitty player's would.
Family,
because they have a higher kill-to-death ratio.
Obviously always communicated with them that how much we're with them and the work, everything that we're doing to try to bring their loved one home. And we have stayed in constant communication with them. I don't have anything to read out as a call to any of the American hostages or the families at this time, but I can say that the president is, as he said, this is a really good afternoon,
yes, yeah, but not the
our hearts go out,
not like the
the
isometric or the
hexographic.
Hexographic, is that what it's called? Fallout was hexographic. It was hexagon based. But yes. That kind of but top down. Not neither isometric nor hexographic. Right? Like straight down. Like Legend of Zelda. Like Smash TV. Like that kind of stuff. Isometric is too hard
to get their loved ones
to
home.
design the levels.
And so this is a big deal. This is a big deal.
And just on a slightly more personal note, on this, your 306th briefing, what advice do you have for your successor?
Top down, we
So
can keep
I
it
was
very
asked
simple
this
and
question, I
grid-based.
think when my successor was announced, and it's pretty much the same, which is, obviously I wish her the best of luck. This is a great job, an amazing opportunity to be standing at this podium behind this lectern, to go back and forth with all of you and speak on behalf of this president, the president of the United States. There's nothing like it, and I hope she enjoys the job. I hope she continues to do this, what we've been doing for the past almost 4 years, and I truly wish her well.
The decision the president made to include Steve Witkoff, how did that come about?
Look, that is, I'm not going to...
And why did the president do it?
Well, look, this goes back to what the president said right after the election. A peaceful transfer of power. Again, something that he didn't get 4 years ago.
Something he didn't get. Well, if you wanted a peaceful transfer of power,
efficient,
you shouldn't have had your FBI agents out there trying to stage a coup. Right? What happened? The machine locked up. Oh, my machine just took a shit, guys. I don't even know.
Leading by example.
Oh, there it goes. It's coming back. Oh, no, it's not.
That's what he's doing. This is a president who understands.
Oh, yeah. We shit the bed, it looks like. I don't know what's going on. I can't do anything. What the fuck? All right, guys, I'm sorry. Everything died, but I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. It shit the bed. It shit the bed. Okay, so we have it queued up right now. we're about 10 minutes behind the press secretary, Miss Pierre. And the reporter has asked a very poignant question. Here we go. Make sure I have it queued up right. Let's just rewind it a little bit more before we play it. Okay. All right, here we go.
We'll continue to hear from him in the last couple of days.
I'm not it.
Demonstration, and he certainly looks forward to it.
Karine, we're sort of dancing around who gets to take credit for this deal.
No one's dancing around here.
A colleague at the State Department briefed our colleagues that President Trump was critical in getting this deal over the line.
Oh, President Biden stands up and takes credit for the deal when our colleagues are confident that President Trump was critical in getting this deal over the line. Can we hear it again? Can I get a witness? Can I get a witness?
From him in the last couple of days of his administration, and he certainly looks forward to it.
Karine, we're sort of dancing around who gets to take credit for this deal.
No one's dancing around here.
A colleague at the State Department briefed our colleagues that President Trump was critical in getting this deal over the line. Do you not agree with that statement?
I mean, look, I'm not going to speak to a random person.
I'm not going to speak to a random person.
What I can say is, look, obviously Matt Miller will speak for himself. What I can say is there are steps that were taken here that is really important and critical, and that started with this president starting a framework that was agreed upon by the world back in May.
Guys, it was the whole world that did it.
Because he was able
that was
to
Joe Biden leading the whole world
on how to move.
Even though, according to everyone in the news media and everyone with a half of a fucking brain, it was Donald Trump's pressure that got this ceasefire, right? These people are going to stand up here and say, no, it was us. It was us giving billions of dollars to the terrorists that got it done. It was us not rescuing the hostages that got the hostages home. Like the fucking balls, right, on this woman. She has to be a transsexual with balls like that. It has to be true.
Forward with this negotiation. What I said before, this is someone who understands foreign policy as I'm talking about the president. He understands how difficult it is, and this was not an easy one. And so he has the experience. He was able to get that going, to get that started. So this has been going on for some time. It has. I mean, that's just the reality of it. That is just the facts of it. Have we been coordinating and working closely with the incoming Trump administration, their transition team? Yes. And we've been very forthcoming about that. But the fact of the matter is, it took someone who has the experience that this president had to get this going, to get this moving, to understand what negotiations
Yeah, when
look
she
like.
says the president, she means fucking Donald Trump.
And it got done under his
Yeah, it got done because of Donald Trump.
And then secondly, obviously, this is a really big day on the foreign policy, national security front. This is your last briefing, or the administration's last briefing. Is there a reason why John Kirby isn't here to take your questions?
So look, I just mentioned that Brett McGurk is going to be holding a National
John
Security
Kirby's
Council.
not here because he
is
can't
holding up a
fucking
call.
tarnish
I think
his
that's gonna be really
reputation by attempting to take credit for this
They
shit.
will talk more about the implementation
The
of
man
this.
has a future
National
to look
Security
after.
Advisor Jake Sullivan was just here 2 days ago on Monday, and I think kind of laid out a really good framework for all of this, the thinking process, how this was going to move forward.
Hey, what's up, Steve, baby?
And Brett McGurk, he is on the ground. He has all of the information. He has been there at the direction of this president, certainly with National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan leading that effort. He's going to have a lot more information.
No, that's not how it happened at all. That's not how it happened at all. You lie. You lie. It wasn't Jake Sullivan. It was motherfucking Steve Witkoff. It was Steve Witkoff who went over there and busted BB's balls. He busted his balls. He went over there, took BB by the balls and squeezed him until he fucking acquiesced. Right? That's what happened, Karine. Jake Sullivan's been over there for a year and ain't done shit. Right? We don't have no sounds? What is going on? Why is it being stupid?
Will have, because he's been on the ground, understanding, working with the negotiators and understanding how this process has worked. So that's how this works.
That's how this works.
Go ahead.
You said that you wish your successor luck. Have you had any extensive conversations with her about how this job?
Pam Bondi, oh man.
I haven't, but I'm not the only White House press secretary or soon to be former White House press secretary out there. So I'm sure there are many people for her to connect with and speak with.
Yeah, like Kayleigh McEnany, hopefully somebody that knows how to do this shit right. Dude, I cannot wait till Pam Bondi comes out, bro. Like how they barely just pressed Karine about Trump actually being the one. That was the only question, right? That was the only question. Like, why are you guys saying you did it when Trump did it? Only one person asked that, right? But when Pam Bondi comes out here and she does, and they try to pull that kind of shit, which they will, right? They're gonna be all like, every question will be that, right? Why are you doing it? Why are you doing this and saying this and doing this and saying this, right? Every single question will be like that.
But I have not had a conversation with her.
Thanks, Karine. How many Americans are going to be in the first tranche, and when will they start coming out?
It's a good question. That's why Brett McGurk is going to be holding this National Security Council call. He will have all of that information. The president even said the same thing when he was asked a similar question.
Your
that we will have
president
more
is
details
done.
to share. And so the National Security Council, Brett McGurk, will share that with all of you, hopefully momentarily.
Brett McGurk is done.
And why we're having the last briefing of the administration on what's been one of the defining
That's
wars
Tulsi
of the
Gabbard's
presidency
job
without
now.
being able to answer those questions.
I just said he's going to.
That is Tulsi's job now.
Call, and he'll take your questions on that. Okay. I think that's important to hear directly from the person who's on the ground. I think that's an important thing to do.
Well,
right.
Well, then we need to hear from Mr. Whitcock.
Folks here in the building who had those answers who could tell
Well,
us.
Brett McGurk, well, National Security Council is holding up a call so that Brett McGurk can get.
Hey, what's up, Anthony?
Okay. Why is it that you seem unwilling to extend any credit to Trump for this deal? Couldn't he just have said, hold off until I'm in office?
What I will say is that what we know to be true, what we know this process, how it has moved over the past 8 months, this is a deal that happened under the framework that this president put forward and was endorsed by the world. And this is also an administration that has had certainly the support, the back of Israel that helped denigrate Hamas, their military severely, weaken them. And
she said denigrate.
We created, because of also doing that,
did they fucking belittle
the
Hamas?
Conditions for this deal. That is what has happened over the last 8 months. And we have talked closely, worked closely, coordinated closely with the incoming administration, and that is how we've been able to get to this point. And the reason we were able to do that, having that conversation with the transition team, is because this president believed. He believed in the importance of having a peaceful transfer of power, right? Of having a transition that worked for the American people and had the American people at the forefront in trying to make sure that we got this done.
We've heard variations of that answer through the briefing, but I guess more plainly, I'm wondering if you'll just say your view, which seems to be that Trump gets no credit.
I've shared my view. I don't have anything else to share.
Is that who is that?
How we got to this point. The president shared that moments ago. He laid out in very succinct way on how we got to this. How we got it out.
It is Jackie.
How
okay.
we got to this point. The president shared that moments ago. He laid out in very succinct way on
I'm surprised
how we
Trump
got to
didn't
this-
hire
how
Jackie
we
to be
got
his
to this
press
point.
secretary.
I've talked about Brett McGurk, who's on the ground talking to negotiators, has been there working at the direction of this president, the leadership, obviously, of the National Security Advisor. This has been something that has been in the works for months, way before November. That is just how this has worked. I'm not here to talk about the transition. I'm not here to talk about who gets
No,
credit,
Pam got
not
Pondy's
credit.
a good
I'm here to
choice.
talk about what this
Oh, wait, I got a video from her. After this, remind me to play the Pam Bondi video.
We're gonna get hostages.
She was on
who are
Capitol
going
Hill
to
today
go
getting
home to
grilled
their
for
families.
for her job.
After 15 months of, I don't even want to think the horror that they have gone through. I can't even imagine it. And I think that matters. I mean, we're going back and forth about credit, but people are going to go home to their families.
We're
And
going
that is
back
so
and forth
important.
about credit when people are going to go home to their families. Yeah, we're going back and forth about credit because you motherfuckers want to take all the credit, right? Right? Like, how petty is it to talk about who gets credit after they marched out there and acted like they did everything, right? Like the balls on this woman, right? Like I said, she has to be a tranny, dude, with balls like this, right? No, you're not invisible, Tam Tam. We love you. I love you, Tam
And
Tam.
hopefully the phases will continue and we'll get to an end of war here.
Pam
And that
Bondi
is
for
important.
AG,
And
not
let's
presser.
not
Oh,
forget,
my bad.
increase
Liz
that
Wheeler
demand
for
and
press.
aid to God,
My bad.
because there are people there
My
who
bad.
need that aid and the assistance.
My
I'm
bad.
gonna move on.
Sorry.
No, I'm gonna wait. No.
How will you
go ahead.
grade
I
yourself
disagree.
on
I'm
your
not,
goal
go ahead,
of being
go
the
ahead.
most
I
transparent
see.
Go ahead. I've taken like 3 questions. I'm gonna move on. Go ahead.
No answer there?
Go ahead. I've already taken 3 of your questions. I'm gonna make sure some of your colleagues get an opportunity as well.
Could you respond to the report released by the special counsel?
I thought the Caroline, the other lawyer, was going for AG. Oh, the other lawyer is the press secretary. Pam Bondi's the AG. That's what it is. You're right.
Hunter
You're
Biden,
right.
Specifically, he talked
You're
about
right.
Biden's claims that his son was unfairly targeted and said the president's characterizations are incorrect based on the facts in this case, and on a more fundamental level, they are wrong. He also said that politicians who attack the decisions of career prosecutors as politically motivated when they disagree with the outcome of a case undermine the public's confidence in our criminal justice system.
So, a couple things there. Let's not forget why the president came to his conclusion, how he got to this point of pardoning his son. And he talked about the circumstances of this prosecution and how out of norm they were.
Yeah, it's out of norm to put a crackhead in jail, guys. It's just wrong. It's not what this system does. But 20 years ago, literally, Joe Biden was like, we should put every crackhead in jail. Except for my son, of course, who's unfairly prosecuted.
And let's not forget there were legal experts that agreed with this president, who shared that conclusion of this president. And
it was the Republicans that put that crack pipe in my son's mouth and caused him to beat an underage prostitute on camera.
Was one of those experts is a former prosecutor, as you all know, Attorney General Eric Holder, and he was very clear. I just want to quote him. No U.S. attorney would have charged this case given the underlying facts. Had his name been Joe Smith, the resolution would have been fundamentally and more fairly a declination. Pardon warranted. And if you look at what happened here, and you look at paying your taxes, the vast majority of people who don't pay their taxes on time are not charged with criminal penalties. They're just not. They pay their penalties and fees, and that's what Hunter Biden did. And so the president wasn't alone in this, in making that. When he made that determination, he had legal experts who also agreed with how making this decision on pardoning his son, Hunter Biden.
I'm concerned that he undermines the public perception of the justice system.
I just answered that question. I don't have anything else for you. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, great. Thanks. I know that you said you don't have details on what the president will be doing on Sunday, but can you expound on why
he will probably be sucking the blood of little children as he like jerks off his limp and fucking wrinkled up, shriveled up penis. You know, he can't jerk it off to completion because he can't get it hard, but he's gonna try. He's gonna try, guys.
You know, his last day in office in South Carolina.
And we'll have more to share. I don't want to get ahead of that. We'll have more to share. And why South Carolina?
Last thing.
Because that's where they let you sacrifice
Prime
little
Minister
children.
Netanyahu, or does he plan to do so in the coming days?
Well, as you know, he recently just spoke to the Prime Minister, and if we have more calls to
I mean, there's a reason why they wanted the people to send their children across the border without any fucking parents.
On Monday, President Biden said he was more optimistic than ever about the future. Isn't he afraid or concerned that part of his legacy could be or is about to be erased by the incoming president?
I mean, look, when I answered this question about, I think it was a polling question from Kayla, I also talked about in my answering that question, how
what's up,
popular
Sonic
some
boy?
of the things that the president has done. Chips and Science Act.
Oh, it wasn't
bipartisan
Pete. It was
legislation, the PACT Act, and even the.
It wasn't Pete. It was girl Pete. What's her? I just forgot her fucking name. Jackie Heinrich. It was Jackie Heinrich, and she asked, "Why are you guys up here taking all the credit for the hostage release in Israel when everyone is saying that Trump did it?" And that was the question, and Karine said, "Well, we all did it." Basically.
Provisions of the Inflation Reduction Act.
Basically, is what Karine said.
The insulin being the insulin at $35 a month for seniors. Those are things. All of those that I just laid out are popular with the American people, and that is something that the incoming administration has to think about. Republicans on the other side of Pennsylvania has to think about. These are things that are incredibly popular. Some of them, bipartisan infrastructure legislation, Chips and Science Act, the PACT Act, were done in a bipartisan way. And so to undo
Looks
those
like Joe's
successes,
fucking dementia
some of the
spreading
things,
to her
again,
too.
popular
Jesus
with the American people, you know, that's something that they have to seriously think about. And, you know,
God,
what
cute,
we have
though. I don't care.
done,
I know you
those
guys think
historic
it's cringe.
pieces
I
of
think it's cute.
legislation that obviously is now law, will have lasting effects on people's lives.
Laughing effects? Oh,
so
she
he's
said
very
lasting
confident
effects.
about that.
One about
I was about to say, everything you say has laughing effects, Mommy.
foreign policy, because President Biden said his presidency restored the U.S. credibility in the world. Jen Psaki actually said that in her first briefing here, that he was going to do this. But when we talk to foreign leaders or diplomats around, many say that the inconsistency of the U.S. foreign policy is making it harder to work together and really trust that U.S. can be a reliable ally.
Say that
so
last
what do
part
you
again,
tell
the
them?
inconsistency, you said?
Yeah, of the U.S. foreign policy. Make it hard to work and trust that U.S. can be a reliable ally.
There we go. And that is the real fucking question, is the inconsistency of U.S. policy. And what she means by that is Joe Biden being wishy-washy on everything. He can't make a decision. He can't pick which side he's on. He's trying to play both sides all the time, right? And it makes us look weak because our allies can't depend on us. And this is what I've been saying this whole time. This whole time is that, and finally, on the very last day, somebody finally says something about it. Congrats. Congrats. Wow. Good job. Good job. Finally, she said something. And the reason why they're all saying it on the last day here is because if they would have said it before, they would never get another question again.
So
why are they saying that? What's the inconsistency?
Well, one administration come and do a lot of Cuba and Paris and all, and then you put it back, and now again it's about to be.
I mean, look, I'm not going to get into what the next administration is going to do, not going to do. What I can talk about is what the president wanted to make sure and that he got done in his.
Not all heroes are orange.
Which is restore the reputation of the United States, which he was able to do. Get things done on behalf of the American people and make sure that we really mended our relationships with our partners and allies. And that's what you were able to do. You don't expand NATO if it wasn't for this president and his relationships and his experience, right? You don't support Ukraine the way that it was supported by more than 50 countries, the way that it was able to get what it needed to really be on the ground. Remember, Kyiv was supposed to fall within days. That didn't happen. That didn't happen because of this president's leadership.
True that.
I'm not going to get into...
I don't know if it's Joe Biden had anything to do with it. I think it's more the millions of Ukrainians that were ground up into paste. But whatever, Joe Biden, all the dead people, someone's responsible.
What the next president's going to do or not do. And let's not forget today. Today was a big day in the foreign policy space to get this hostage deal done. Hostages are going to go home. We're going to be able to get humanitarian aid surged into Gaza.
See?
And we're
Fuck them.
hopefully going to
We're
this war.
We're going to give them free shit for killing 200 and something people, guys.
Yep.
Have you been in touch with Caroline yet?
I was just asked this question. I was just asked this question. I have not been in touch with her, but
I don't know if he's banning cigarettes. He's going to try.
Come talk to me in the back.
Oh, it's over. It's over, guys. Okay, Pam Bondi. I have a Pam Bondi video that just came out. This is her getting grilled by the White House, by the Congress, okay? This is about the 2020 election, okay? Here we go. God, she is gorgeous, actually. Really. She's not Kayleigh McEnany, but she's fucking close, bro.
Bases decisions on facts. So I want to ask
she's sexier. She's
a
older.
factual question.
She's like actually more milfy than even Kayleigh is.
Election?
She's actually sexy as fuck, dude.
Of the United States.
Ms. Bondi, you know that there is a difference between acknowledging it and, I can say that Donald Trump won the 2024 election. I may not like it, but I can say it. You cannot say who won the 2020 presidential election. Okay.
She said, yup. Fuck vapes. Yeah, vapes will kill you, guys. Don't do vapes. Don't do the vapes. Stay off the vapes, guys. Yeah, look at that, dude. God damn. Oh. Oh, man. We got Kristi Noem. Oh, god damn, dude. Who else? Who else do we got? Let's have a look-see. I got them all right here. Lori Chavez, look at her. Not bad, not bad. I'll take it. Linda McMahon, what's she look like? Probably old. She looks old. Yeah, old as shit. All right. Not that she's not cute. She looks cute for an old lady in this picture anyway. You know? Elise Stefanik, meh. She's like, you gotta have a couple drinks first for Elise. Tulsi, y'all know she's a stone cold fox. Tulsi is a fox. Put a ring on that. I don't know who this bitch is. Let's have a look-see. The Surgeon General. Oh, don't click on her. You can't click on her. This is the guy right here. This is the guy right here that negotiated the hostage deal for Trump with Bibi. Right here. Right here, son. Oh, where's he at? Well, I don't know. What happened? I don't know. Fuck it. Oh, well. Yeah, so that's that. She's take no shit hot. Yeah, no shit. Oh, Anna Paulina Luna. Fuck yes. Oh my God. Have you seen that video with her in the bikini? Oh my fucking God, dude. Oh my God. That right there, son. Yes. 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 Ain't America great? I'm biologically a woman. There. You can tell I'm biologically a woman. Yes, we can, Miss Luna. Yes, we can. Oh my God. Make America gape again. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Uh, oh, I love you. I love you. All right. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I can't find it. Oh man. All right, guys. So yeah, that's gonna be probably about it for the show. I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up here. I do want to let everybody know that I've been busting my ass doing this coding, and I want to thank everybody for sticking with the channel and supporting me and everything. And it's we're almost there. We're fucking almost there, guys. We're almost out of this. I can't wait to go back to my life. Here, if you guys want to help me though, please help me. Send me money. I drop links if the ways you can help me if you really want to help. Yeah, we will. I'm just gonna keep working. Somebody said something about Joe Biden might be coming out to say goodbye. About SpaysE? What? What didn't I say about SpaysE? What do you mean, Felix? I put SpaysE on the wall. What do you mean? I didn't respond. Oh yes, R.I.P. SpaysE. Oh, you thought I died because I didn't respond. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Bro, I get carried away. I read it, yes. I read it, but I didn't respond. You're absolutely right. Bro, I haven't even been watching the news. Like I've been sleeping like 6 hours a day, researching, writing code, breaking the code, rewriting it. Bro, I don't even watch the news anymore. So I just been working really hard, and I'm sorry that I have not been staying in touch or whatever. But it's not, my mind is elsewhere. Right? My mind is elsewhere. So I do apologize for that. I'm a bad friend, but, you know, I do keep in touch. We are keeping in touch, and I will. Yeah, Steve. Yeah, it's some bullshit. I know. But you gotta understand that's the nature of the beast, right? That's the nature of art. I'm sorry. That's why people call artists flaky, right? It's because we get wrapped up in what we're doing and we lock ourselves away and we don't care about anything else until we're done. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, but that's just the nature of the beast, guys. I'm sorry. But think about you do get an awesome creative nerd that surprises you. So it's like a trade-off, right? I can be flaky, but they call me Space. I'm sorry. That's what I do. Oh, awesome, Sonic. That's awesome, bro. That's awesome. You wish you could get 6 hours sleep. Oh, buddy, has your back been bothering you? That sucks, bro. I'm very blessed that I live without pain or disability or anything like that. You know, I just have like a sore shoulder sometimes or whatever, or like a toothache or a headache or something like that. That's temporary. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. That's got to be a rough life, bro. I'm grateful every day that I'm blessed not to have to suffer through that. Yeah, I agree. You do never know. That's why you should live your life like you die tomorrow. That's my advice to you guys. Is to treat every meal like it's your last meal. Right? Right? Every action, do it like it's the last action you're ever going to do, bro. That's how I live my life. Honestly. Right? I'm going to be honest with you. Right? And you should do that too. Well, I'm not saying eat like a king every day, but I am saying what you do eat, be grateful and thankful and cherish it like it's the last thing you're ever going to eat. Right? Doesn't matter what it is. Right? That's how I live my life. Every day I'm so happy that I made it and I'm grateful. And like how I'm grateful that I am lucky enough, right, to be able to sacrifice everything, right, to be able to have a shot at my dream. Right? I'm grateful that I get to suffer, right, through all the hardship, right, in order to make what I want a reality. Right? That's like some Jordan Peterson shit when he says to, right, so life is suffering. So make what you're doing worth the suffering. That because you're not going to escape it anyway, right? So you got to make what you do with your life worth all the suffering you experience. And that's what I try to do, guys. That's what I try to do. So just remember that, right? Right? Even when you have pain or whatever, and I know may sound trivial coming from a guy that just told you how he doesn't experience that kind of pain, and I don't know what it's like, right? But you should be grateful for it in a small way, at least, that you still feel something at all, right? Living with pain is better than dying without pain, right? I don't know. I guess it depends on your perspective. I guess there's a point where it becomes unbearable. I don't know. That's just how I see it. Hey, Nuclear One. Hey, I love you, bro. All right, guys, so we will see each other again at the Joe Biden farewell. Is it today? I heard it was, you guys said something about it being tonight. Let's take a look. Eight o'clock, Joe Biden's farewell. All right, guys, I'll see you then. I will see you then for the Joe Biden farewell tour. All right? Tonight at 8 o'clock. Good to see you, bro. Yeah, if you're interested about Bubble, you should rewatch the video. There's a lot of information in there about the major achievements we've made over the last few months. All right, guys, I'll check you out later. Please send a donation, though, if you can. I mean, I hate to ask, but yeah, if you can. All right, peace.